Kempire is brought to you by the final show of the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience is coming to New York City Friday, September 12th at the Green Room 42, a night of hot topics, tea being spilled, and things that we don't talk about anywhere else. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I really don't, because I didn't expect to talk about penises during our most recent Washington, D.C. show. This is where you can come on your own. I always ask the audience how many people came here solo, and so many people come to these shows on their own. We encourage it. You also end up making a lot of really great lifelong friends from this experience. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet and you are in New York City or the tri-state area or will be in New York City or want to be in New York City for maybe your final hurrah of the summer, get your tickets today. But this New York City has a special option that is not included in any of the other shows, and that it will be also live streamed on September 12th. But you have to get your tickets before the show. More ticket information on the final date of the Kempire After Dark, the Villain Era live experience will be available in the description. I'll see you all very soon. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. It's official. Real Housewives of Potomac star Karen Huger has been released from jail. But there's some mixed reactions from fans. And does this mean that this opens the door for Karen to return in season 10 of the Real Housewives of Potomac? So, Real Housewives of Potomac, and I know Brooke has some tea to spill when it comes to Potomac, so shout out to those of you that will be in attendance at the live show. But as you know, it was just last week we were talking about the trailer that came out for the new season of the Real Housewives of Potomac. I literally just saw a video that Bravo put out in regards to the newbies Tia and Angel that will be joining the show. Based on what we could see, I was like, okay, they seem interesting enough. But there's been so much speculation on whether or not Karen Huger will be a part of season 10 because they are technically still filming, meaning that they're filming their confessionals right now, but the season seems to be basically wrapped up, and they're going to be premiering in October, which is right around the corner. It's next month. However, as you saw at the end of last season, it ended with Karen not being a part of the reunion and her just sending in a video saying that she would return no longer as the Grande Dame, and she ended up being sentenced to 2 years in jail. However, only having to serve one with 1 year suspended. As you can see, she only served 6 months for her fourth DUI. And I think part of the reason why the judge was so hard on Karen was because this wasn't her first DUI. This wasn't her second. And this wasn't her third. There was no way that this judge, especially with the amount of eyes on this case, when she got those other DUIs, we didn't know Karen. But how many years later she had the same situation happen again? So let me just give you an update in regards to what TMZ is reporting. The Jasmine brand initially reported in their exclusive last week that Karen Huger was going to be released from jail on September 2nd. So let's give them their kudos. Their tea was correct. So often people like to call people out when their tea is incorrect. But let's give them their credit when tea is correct. So they write this in regards to Karen being released. They said Karen Huger has been released from prison after being found guilty of a DUI. TMZ has learned there was actual footage of Karen leaving the prison. And you can see the footage of her, and she's actually rolls down the window and she waves to the fans that were out there, fans and press that were waiting outside of the prison. The Montgomery County Detention Center in Maryland tells TMZ Huger was released Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern after she served 6 months behind bars. The Real Housewives of Potomac star is getting out of the clink 6 months earlier than expected. Having been convicted on 7 of 8 charges prosecutors brought against her, including DUI, negligent driving, failing to control her vehicle's speed to avoid a collision, and more. Moving forward, Karen won't be allowed to be behind the wheel for a year. So starting today, she will not be allowed to be behind the wheel. I don't know if that could change, very much like her prison sentence and ended up being shorter, but I doubt it. They said she won't be allowed to be behind the wheel of a car for a year. She also served 5 years of supervised probation upon release, with an interlock device required once she's cleared to drive again. We saw this similar with Shannon from Real Housewives of Orange County. She had that system in her car. And we learned a lot in regards to that system. That system is very challenging to drive with. At Karen's big age of 60-something years old, look, she's had a driver before. I would just have a driver going forward. But the bigger issue here is, does Karen have an issue with alcohol? If this is your fourth DUI, I think the answer is yes. Despite all of what, this was part of my frustration with Karen at the end of last season. It was the fact that, yes, we understand she was in the middle of a case and she really couldn't talk about it and she really couldn't take ownership. However, even when she was convicted and she put out that video, it was just sort of like, she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. And that's why you see the judge was so frustrated with her. It's like, you don't get it. You knew that this body cam footage was out there. And I don't believe anyone's going to tell me that Karen did not know the body cam footage was there. Even if she didn't, you know who was there at the time and seeing how ridiculous you looked? Was Ray. So I'm sure he told you, this doesn't look good for you, but you still decided to take this to court. And of course, this is why you got what you got. I don't know what she would have gotten, again, because this was still her fourth DUI. I don't know what she would have gotten if she had just said, you know what, let me just face the music and plead guilty. I don't know what she would have gotten. Some people might say she still got off pretty nicely because she did not serve the full year. Hopefully 6 months was enough to wake Karen up to the issues that she has with drinking. So they said that she'll have probation will switch to unsupervised after 3 years. So they said she'll serve 5 years of supervised probation upon release with an interlock device required once she's cleared to drive again. If there aren't any violations, probation will switch to unsupervised after 3 years. So she cannot get in any kind of trouble in the next 5 years. Any kind of trouble. It doesn't mean just drinking and driving. She cannot get into any kind of trouble for the next 5 years. TMZ broke the story that Huger's March 2024 crash in Potomac, Maryland went down when she struck a median and crosswalk sign at an intersection before slamming into a parking sign and coming to a stop just off the roadway. Body cam footage played for the jury shows Huger being questioned by cops after the collision. Not only that, we saw what happened at the collision. We saw what she was saying to the police officer as they were driving her to the police station. Then we got to see the interrogation when she was being interrogated, where she said that she was Thomas Jefferson's concubine. Yeah. So fans were in attendance as Karen was leaving. And as I said to you before, she waved to everyone on her way out. But take a listen to what one of the fans that were there, you might be surprised what they had to say about Karen serving this time.
As a human, I was actually happy that she did get jail time because it was her fourth DUI, and that's very serious and very scary, and someone could have been hurt. So unlike a lot of her fans, I thought the sentence was correct for what she did.
And I'm glad that was said on camera. She said this to the news and network that were there at the time. We can all appreciate, because I'm happy Karen's home. I'm happy that she served her time. But it doesn't change the fact that what she did, I took very seriously. And I know some people people do this all the time, and some of you may have done this, but she's very lucky that no one was hurt. But the importance here is that this wasn't her first DUI. Yes, people make mistakes. This was her fourth. And she's very lucky that she didn't take someone's life, because that will be hard to live with. I hope we see a real change in Karen, and I'm sure we will see something at the end of next season, because the trailer is Giselle writing a letter to Karen. And word on the street is that they did film with Karen's friends. So it wouldn't shock me at the end of the season that there's some sort of one-on-one with Andy Cohen. So we do have an update in regards to whether or not Karen Huger and her release will be filmed for season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. And according to Matthew Torres, a journalist, he's confirming production crews for Bravo is also at the prison capturing the moments of Karen Huger's release. We were told she's getting her hair and makeup done before she goes back home. And if you see the photos of her as she exits and she's waving to the fans and the journalists that are outside, she clearly had makeup, and she didn't have, I don't know if she had a wig on or anything like that, because she had a scarf over her head. But yeah, so I don't know how anyone feels about that. But part of me is sort of like, oh God, hopefully she's learned her lesson. But only time will tell. I understand Bravo has a story to tell. They want to round out, they start off the season probably talking about Karen going to prison. So they want to include it, especially because now she's being released as they are still filming. I don't know. She can even show up to the reunion and maybe answer for some of the things that she didn't answer for during the last reunion. However, the other caveat here, Karen in her, I forgot what it was to the court, I guess for them to give her a lesser sentence. The situation, she blamed being a leader on Real Housewives of Potomac as to part of the reason why she increased her meds, why she was drinking more. She blamed them as one of the reasons why she had to do those things. So coming back into this environment, I know so many people want Katie to come back, and I always say, this is not a safe, healthy environment for Katie if she's going through recovery. The same can be said for Karen. I love Karen. I think Karen is fantastic on the show. However, if it's not good for her mental or her possible addiction, then I'm just happy she's home and she can be with her family. I did a video. I see you guys talking about Karen Huger in the live chat. We did do a video talking about Real Housewives of Potomac star Karen Huger being freed. Set me free. Hold on. Set me free. That's all you're getting. Come to a live show. Speaking of our live shows, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show is coming back to New York City September 12th. That's next Friday, featuring the Brooke Ashley. Lots of tea will be spilled, but there's also a live stream option. So for those of you that are in other parts of the country or the world, you have an opportunity to get tickets as well. I also, like I mentioned before, I did a video talking about Karen Huger. You can check that out here on our YouTube channel as well. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, head on over to our YouTube and you can hear all the details. Karen is free and she is filming for Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10. I'm sure it will be something that comes at the end. The Potomac ladies had pretty much wrapped their season, but from what I heard when I was in DC, they were still filming confessionals. So just in time for Season 10, Karen Huger has been set free. Speaking of being set free, Cardi B has been set free from having to go to this damn trial every single day. Every single day. And it's been comedy. I know not comedy for her, but she was quite funny when she was on the stand. She's been quite funny to watch behind, as she watched everyone else testify. I don't think anyone is surprised by the verdict. If you're just coming in, shout out to those of you that are watching on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and on Facebook. We appreciate you guys being here. All right. Bree just says, got my live ticket. Shout out to everyone that's gotten their live ticket already. All right. Shout out to our Twitch fam as well. Don't forget, you can watch us there, guys. So let me just give you the update in regards to this, because there's so much to unpack. I'm going to play for you the verdict. It's a few minutes, but I want to play for you the moment, because Cardi B is interesting to watch, because her body's reaction, she seemed so antsy during the verdict. I don't blame her. This was a $20-something million civil lawsuit brought against her from a 2018 incident. I don't think any of us knew that this was coming. The first video that I saw on this when it comes to trial coverage was Pam Esquire here on YouTube, The Law Intellect. And I was like, oh, what is this? So I've been following the case via her channel. All right. So I don't think anyone, including her, were surprised at the verdict for those that you want me to get to straight to the point. She was found not liable in all of the counts that were brought against her from this former security guard that worked at this medical office. Even the doctor testified against the security guard. All right. Thank you. Nikki says, I bought my live ticket this afternoon. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Let me just play for you. Okay, first of all, before we do that, there are so many iconic moments. And I say iconic, and I don't mean that lightly, because Cardi B is just so naturally funny. I don't have all the clips of Cardi B and all the different things that she said when she was on the stand, the things that she was doing while watching. But I did have this clip from today because Cardi was tired. She ain't beating those pregnancy allegations.
We really don't know. She didn't even know. Miss Malcolm testified.
What?
that she did
Cardi.
not know.
Cardi is nodding off. But here's the thing. I know there are the allegations out, not allegations, but yeah, there are allegations that are out there that Cardi B is pregnant. What solidified it for me, and again, I'm going to wait till she officially says it, but what solidified it for me is when Fashion Bomb Daily had talked about her fashion and they showed footage of her coming into the court, and I was like, I almost sprained my ankle for going to the comments to see what the women had to say, because I was only going to trust other women that have been pregnant before that know a thing or two about pregnancy. And I said, is she? And even today's outfit, okay, I'm going to wait for Cardi B to say it, but it's definitely giving the rumors, okay? All right, and we're going to address what happened today because Cardi threw a pen at a blogger today as well for bringing up these rumors. Okay? Let me rewind back time because nodding off.
We really don't know. She didn't even know. Miss Malcolm testified that she did not know who scratched her face.
Cardi is also in the middle of promoting a new project. Okay? She has a new album. This is a long-awaited album, but she's in the middle of rolling that out. I will play for you guys. Cardi B, at the end of this trial, did speak to the media, and she had a very stern warning to anyone else that's going to try and bring up lawsuits against her. We'll get to that in a second, but let me play for you the verdict.
Superior Court of the State of California for the County of Los Angeles, Imani Ellis, plaintiff, versus Belcalis, Marlenes, Almanzar, Cardi B, does 1 through 50, inclusive defendant. Case number 20 STCV 07031. Verdict. We, the jury, in the above entitled case, answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Section A, assault and battery. Question 1. Did plaintiff Imani Ellis prove all of the following elements of battery? 1. Defendant Belcalis Marlenes Almanzar, Ms. Almanzar, touched Ms. Ellis in the intent to harm or offend Ms. Ellis. Number 2, Ms. Ellis did not consent to being touched. Number 3, Ms. Ellis was harmed or offended by Ms. Almanzar's conduct. And 4, a reasonable person in Ms. Ellis' situation would have been offended by the touching. Answer, no. Question 2, did Ms. Ellis prove all of the following elements of assault? Number 1, Ms. Almanzar acted with the intent to cause harmful or offensive contact with Ms. Ellis. Number 2, Ms. Ellis reasonably believed that she was about to be touched in a harmful or an offensive manner. Number 3, Ms. Ellis did not consent to Ms. Almanzar's conduct. Number 4, Ms. Ellis was harmed. And number 5, Ms. Almanzar's conduct was a substantial factor in causing Ms. Ellis's harm. Answer, no.
For those that are just joining us, we're playing when the verdict was played out. And shout out to Megan Cuniff, one of the reporters that was covering this case as well. This is the video that she posted on socials in regards to the verdict. I see that Mama Ali said that thinking about it, I didn't get a YouTube notification. I did get the Twitch notification. Again, why you guys should be following us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheKempire. Those notifications usually are very reliable. And you can pop between watching on Twitch. We stream in 4K, so I look a whole lot better on there than YouTube. There's all kinds of really cool things you can do with Twitch as well. So be sure to follow us on Twitch. We're playing the verdict for you of the Cardi B trial, which ended today.
Section B, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Question 5. Did Ms. Ellis prove all of the following elements of intentional infliction of emotional distress? 1. Ms. Almanzar engaged in extreme and outrageous conduct beyond mere insults, threats, indignities, annoyances, hurt feelings, or other trivialities that a reasonable person is expected to endure. 2. Ms. Almanzar intended to cause Ms. Ellis emotional distress. Number 3, Ms. Ellis suffered severe emotional distress. And number 4, Ms. Almanzar's extreme and outrageous conduct was a substantial factor in causing Ms. Ellis to suffer severe emotional distress. Answer, no. Section C, negligence and contributory negligence. Number 8, did Ms. Ellis prove all of the following elements of negligence? Number 1, Ms. Almanzar was negligent. Number 2, Ms. Almanzar's negligence caused Ms. Ellis to suffer physical harm rather than only emotional distress. And 3, Ms. Almanzar's negligence was a substantial factor in causing Ms. Ellis's harm. Answer, no. Section D, punitive damages. Question 12, did you answer question 4 and 7? Answer, no. Signed this date, September 2nd, 2025, by board person George Ulola, number 3.
All right, is it in Mr. Chipoldry?
No, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me ask the foreman, was it unanimous as to all the questions?
Yes.
All right, so the question that the clerk is going to be asking is, was it unanimous as to all questions?
Question 1.
Or just all questions?
No, as to all questions?
Was it
Yes.
unanimous?
Was it unanimous?
Yes.
And go through each of the jurors. Was it unanimous?
Was it unanimous, juror number 1?
Yes.
Number 2?
Yes.
Number 3?
Yes.
Number 4?
Yes.
Number 5?
Yes.
Number 6?
Yes.
Number 7?
Yes.
Number 8?
Yes.
Number 9?
Yes.
Number 10?
Yes.
11?
Yes.
And 12.
Yes.
All right, sounds like it was a unanimous verdict as to all questions. Can the clerk please record the verdicts?
The verdict has been recorded, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and dedication to this case. I know that you've paid a great deal of attention throughout the matter, which was especially evidenced by the questions that you did submit. I want to thank you for that time and attention on behalf of myself, the parties, the court system, as well as the people of California. As I indicated before, this system does not work unless people like you are able and willing to serve, and so I want to thank you once again. Throughout the trial, I have admonished you that you could not discuss the case with anyone, including other jurors. And at this point in time, I am relieving you from the admonition. You can speak with anyone about the case from this time forward. I suspect that there's going to be not only the parties that will want to speak with you, but I suspect also the members of the press are going to want to speak with you. And so I'm going to tell you this. I'm telling the members of the media this. And I'm telling the parties and their assistants that it's up to you whether or not you want to speak with anyone. If you don't want to speak with anyone, then you can just head right out the double doors, out the elevators. If there's press outside that want to speak with you, you can just walk past them. Don't let them stop you. If you do want to speak with them, then go ahead and you can wait outside the double doors. We're not going to be speaking with anyone in the courtroom. And if you do speak with someone, please be respectful of the views of any of your other jurors in terms of the deliberations. You can speak with respect to your point of view and how you saw the case. And the other admonition or the other issue with respect to speaking with people is that it's got to be at a reasonable time and place. And so if people start bothering you or if people reach out to you that's inconvenient for you and they continue to do so, let me know and I'll take care of it, okay? All right.
All right. So that was the verdict. I wanted to play that for you guys before we get into this because also keep in mind, I just Googled Schmoogle just to remind me because I remember seeing this before. That Cardi is being sued for that mic throw. You remember the mic throw. We all saw it on camera. She's also being sued for that. But we'll talk about that in just a second. If you're just joining us, we just played for you the verdict in this Cardi B trial from a 2018 incident with the security guard at the time. She's now been found not liable for that. Let me just give you the full report from our friends over at Rolling Stone. They said Cardi B won the debate and the trial too, a week after going viral for calling her witness stand interrogation a debate, not an altercation. The Grammy-winning rapper was found not liable at a civil trial over claims she physically assaulted a security guard she believed was filming her. Jurors spent less than an hour deliberating in the closely watched case. And for those that were watching the case, you probably were not shocked by the jury coming back so quickly. Especially, I don't know who Amani Ellis hired as her attorneys, but they did not help her case either, despite the evidence really not helping her case as well. So as I mentioned to you before, they agreed that Cardi did not swing at Imani Ellis or scratch the woman's face during a heated argument on the 5th floor of Beverly Hills Medical Building 7 years ago. I will say it on my deathbed. I did not touch that woman. I did not touch that girl. This is what Cardi said in the statement afterwards. I'm going to skip over that because we're going to play the video of her statement. But she did give a stern warning in that statement, and we're going to go through that because she's basically saying anyone else that decides to try and sue her, she's going to countersue you. They said, Cardi said that she missed her kid's first day of school thanks to the trial, and she's working late nights on her new album due out later this month. She said it wasn't easy waking up each morning at 5:30 to prep for court. She said that her forehead is raw from the selection of wigs she wore each day. That was the other element. The fashions that Cardi brought to this trial was something to watch as well, like from not just her clothes, but from the hairstyles. The first day she didn't really hit. That little short pixie cut that she gave, it wasn't my favorite. It was my least favorite of all the looks that she gave during this trial. Okay? So, damn, it was only a 4-day trial? It felt longer. All right, I want to just go down. They said two jurors who spoke with Rolling Stone after the verdict said that it wasn't even close. There wasn't any other way this could go. Honestly, it was pretty straightforward. We went through the questions and we all agreed. You saw how the case went, a male juror who described himself as a nursing student said. We discussed it. We definitely went around and everyone gave opinions, but everyone had the same conclusion. There was no assault, a female juror who works as a professional photographer said. All right. They said in a closing argument, Ellis's lawyer, Ron Rosen-Genfaza, tried to convince the panel that his client was on a routine patrol when Cardi stepped off a 5th floor elevator on February 24th of 2018, fought with Ellis, and allegedly cut the woman's left cheek with a fingernail. They were going through fingernails during this case as well. I was like, what are we watching right now? Cardi's lawyer, Peter Anderson, argued that Ellis was the aggressor. Plaintiff went berserk. He said in his own final comments to the jurors before they started deliberating. Plaintiff advanced on Cardi, screaming and yelling, forcing Cardi backwards. Both sides agreed that a confrontation erupted over the disputed claim that Ellis was filming the I Like It rapper while she was secretly pregnant with her first child with Migos rapper Offset. Anderson said that Cardi hadn't yet told her parents she was expecting, and she considered Ellis's actions to be a violation of her privacy surrounding something sacred. After the closing arguments ended, the jury of 6 men and 6 women started their deliberations at 2:15 p.m. local time. They're in LA. They sent a note announcing that they had reached a verdict at 3:15. Damn. And if you followed our Diddy collaborations with Kirsten covering that case, and we were talking about picking out the jury, and if a jury comes back quick, what can that mean? If you missed it, we have a whole playlist of the Diddy trial. It's actually worth replaying because the Diddy trial, it might be over, but the sentencing is in October. So they said after the closing arguments, okay, they only needed 9 to reach a decision. So this is different. You know, with the Diddy trial, they had to be unanimous. In a civil case, though they only needed 9 to reach a decision, all 12 voted the same way. Exactly. Nandy says, we had a whole nail tutorial out of this case. This was a very interesting case. In closing, Anderson argued that Ellis was an admitted fan who knew the platinum-selling rapper was due to visit the medical building that day. From those facts alone, you can infer that she was actually lying in wait. She wanted to photograph and videotape Cardi, he argued. And even if the meeting outside the elevator was a chance encounter, he said, Ellis testified that Cardi made it clear that she believed Ellis was filming her. Plaintiff had the chance to be professional and avoid all of this by putting her phone away. That's all she had to do. But the evidence is she kept the phone in her hands all the way through as she advanced on Cardi B in the hallway, Anderson argued. During the trial, the obstetrician that Cardi B was visiting, along with his office receptionist, told jurors that they heard the women's loud altercation and rushed to the hallway to intervene. They testified Ellis had her phone in her hands the entire time. During her 2 days of testimony, Cardi was adamant she did nothing wrong. She claimed Ellis was the one who stalked her down the hallway and backed her up against a wall. In colorful testimony that spawned several viral one-liners, Cardi said that she and Ellis engaged in a verbal altercation only. She didn't hit me. I didn't hit her. There was no touch, she testified. Hold on. Let me play a clip because these clips are funny. Hold on.
Okay. Yesterday you had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Or are they both real?
These questions. Do you hear this question? I know it's a low audio, but he's asking about her. You know, yesterday you had black hair, today you have blonde hair.
They're wigs.
Over. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know that. It's a good week today then.
Not it's a good wig today. What in the unprofessionalism?
Okay. Yesterday.
Okay.
Have you ever used the N-word with Miss Amani Ellis?
No,
Did you try to take a swing at her?
no,
When you say there was a verbal altercation,
yes.
do you know what the word altercation means?
Like a conflict.
Like a fight, right?
It was like a verbal fight, but it didn't get physical at all.
When I'm talking to you now, are we having a verbal altercation?
We having, we'll say, a debate.
She's like, a debate. That's also important. We talked about this with Kirsten as well in covering the Diddy trial. It really does help if a witness, specifically the defendant, it does help if they're charming to the jury. No matter how they're feeling about the case and how the case is going, I think she came across very charming on the stand. I got to play that again because I thought it was cute.
When I'm talking to you now, are we having a verbal altercation?
We having, we'll say, a debate.
And we're debating about...
They're hilarious. Let me just continue in regards to this. Anderson said that his client's account amounted to, quote, common sense because Ellis did not go to the emergency room or see a doctor immediately after the incident. She also never filed a police report. She did not know if the scratch that supposedly ruined her life was even bleeding. Now, girl. She claims that Cardi mauled her, basically cut her face, and what did she do? She went home and took a nap. Damn. That was her own testimony. He said the evidence, including the testimony from the doctor and receptionist, supported the defense claim that Ellis was the aggressor. Cardi did not do anything wrong except try to protect her baby and get to a doctor. In his final statements to the jury, Ellis's lawyer, Ron Rosen-Janfanza, said that his client wasn't asking for millions. She allegedly demanded from Cardi B before the trial started. He said that his client deserved compensation for her medical expenses, along with $250,000 for past pain and suffering. She was abused, she was harmed, she was assaulted and battered by Cardi B, and Cardi B needs to pay for that, he said. Ellis, 32, first sued Cardi in February of 2020 in her 13-page complaint. She claimed that Cardi B violently attacked her, spit on her, hurled racial slurs, and then used her celebrity status to get her fired. As the trial started last week, Ellis's lawyer confirmed his client had dropped the employment claim related to the alleged plot to get her fired. On the witness stand, Ellis told jurors that she was conducting her floor-to-floor rounds when she saw Cardi B exit the elevator and audibly blurted out the rapper's name in surprise. She claimed that she was not talking to anyone on her phone and never recorded the rapper. She was extremely upset, Ellis testified. She put her finger in my face. Ellis claimed the interaction left her deeply traumatized. For her part, Cardi B testified that she was in Los Angeles for work and scheduled a medical appointment because she felt, quote, weird, and wanted a pregnancy checkup. According to Cardi B, Ellis even admitted she was recording her. I'm like, why are you recording me? Aren't you security? And she's like, oh, my bad. But then I'm walking and I feel and I feel her still following me. So as I'm speed walking, trying to look for the office, I turn around again, and I'm like, why are you following me? The rapper recalled. She's getting closer and closer. Now she's like in front of me where I can't really maneuver. I'm like, ain't you supposed to be security? You're recording me. Now you're following me? Like, back up. She's like, I can do what I want. Cardi said that she and Ellis ended up chest to chest, exchanging words. I'm thinking to myself, this girl is big. She's got big black boots on, she recalled. I'm like, damn, what the hell am I going to do now? She's literally right in my face, like on my chest, and we're arguing. I'm telling her to back up, and she's not backing up. Cardi's star witnesses, besides herself, were the receptionist and the doctor. Dr. David Finke said that he watched as Ellis allegedly, quote, smacked the receptionist, Tiara Malcolm. Yeah, so the receptionist ends up getting hurt, really. He said that Ellis was out of control and flailing her arms during what he described as an epic yelling match. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of finger pointing, he said. My receptionist was struck, not hard, but on her shoulder. The doctor said that he tried to de-escalate the situation. He recalled repeatedly telling Ellis in a loud voice this was not okay and that she had to stop and do her job. Finke said that he was a foot away from Ellis, staring in her face as he wrangled her into the elevator to leave. He did not notice any injuries on her cheek, he said. In her separate testimony, Malcolm said that it appeared that Ellis had Cardi B kind of cornered in the hallway. She said that the women were cursing, but she never heard Cardi use any racial slurs. I saw them in the corner, Cardi B's back to the wall, and I just heard a lot of arguing, Malcolm testified. I immediately walked over there and got in between them. Malcolm said that she stood facing Ellis with Cardi B behind her. After the incident, she noticed a scratch on her forehead that was bleeding slightly. So the receptionist actually had an injury that was bleeding. After the incident, she noticed a scratch on her forehead that was bleeding slightly. She wasn't exactly sure how she got the scratch, but she recalled seeing Ellis trying to reach over me. I could only see arms flying in front of me, she said. I didn't feel anything or see any hands come from behind me. Asked if she heard Ellis yell, I will F your ish up. She said, yes, something along those words. Again, and we talked about this with the Diddy trial, that if an incident like this happens, I don't know how people remember the details, if we're being honest. Cardi B, who's set to release her second studio album, Am I the Drama, on September 19th, previously prevailed in multiple other civil trials. She scored a $4 million jury verdict against gossip blogger Latasha Kebe, professionally known as Tasha K. A New York judge later sided with Cardi B and dismissed a libel lawsuit that named her as a defendant alongside her sister Hennessy. Cardi also won a California-based federal trial where she was accused of using a portion of a man's back tattoo on the cover of her early mixtape, Gangsta B-Word Music Volume 1. Well, that's not the only lawsuit that Cardi B's facing, though, and we'll get to Cardi B speaking out. Cardi B was recently in the news last month because she's being sued. You remember that epic mic incident? Well, according to the LA Times, Cardi B's infamous mic throw incident is being raised again almost 2 years after it took place in Las Vegas. An Ohio woman is suing the 32-year-old Bodak Yellow rapper, claiming battery, assault, and negligence. The owners of Dre's Beach Club and nightclub, where the incident took place on July 29th, 2023, are also being sued for negligence. The suit was filed days before the statute of limitations in Nevada for such charges ran out. According to court documents filed in Clark County on Monday, the plaintiff, who chose to go by Jane Doe because of a psychiatric trauma, alleges that during Cardi B's performance, she encouraged the audience to splash water on her amid visibly high temperature conditions. Though she initially approved allegedly pouring water on herself, stating, "Whoa, that ish feel good." It was when the plaintiff partook, the rapper abruptly and forcefully threw her microphone, which is on video. The object is said to have hit Jane Doe, with Cardi B shouting, "I said splash my pee, not my face, B-word." Damn. Documents called it an unreasonable escalation that resulted in harmful and offensive contact. I wouldn't be surprised. I know the statement I'm about to play for you. She says that she's going to fight all these cases. This one, I think she should probably settle because you literally threw an object. But then some might say, I'm not an attorney. I guess this might go to trial. This woman splashed her, but again, there's probably video footage of you telling the audience to splash you. Lord have mercy. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Cardi settle this one. I wouldn't be surprised her attorneys tell her to settle this one because there's video footage of her actually throwing the mic at this woman. What, didn't they put this mic on eBay to sell? Just saying. So the object, documents called it an unreasonable escalation that resulted in harmful and offensive contact. Though the deed was investigated by police at the time, the rapper was not charged. Representatives for Cardi B did not immediately respond on Thursday to the Times request for comment. Just weeks later, the microphone was auctioned on eBay and fetched for $99,000. It is a key part of the case, as Jane Doe claims the sale exacerbated emotional distress. At the time, sellers told TMZ that the money would be given to two charities, the Wounded Warrior Project and the Friendship Circle Las Vegas, a local program that helps individuals with special needs. The plaintiff is seeking damages up to $15,000 for alleged physical and emotional injuries, as well as reputational harm. Okay. Yeah, settle this one, Cardi. Look. Settle this one, Cardi, so we can move forward and maybe, deal with the other things that you got going on. But okay, let me get into this other stuff that I wanted to play for you, okay? There was something else. Before the verdict even happened, there was an incident. We covered this on TikTok and on our YouTube shorts. This is why you need to follow me on TikTok, guys, just in case, all right? There was an incident that happened outside of the court after closing arguments between Cardi B and a blogger. Let me play for you the incident. Hold on.
Cardi.
What's the verdict? Hey, Cardi, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Cardi, insiders are claiming that Offset is publicly bragging about getting you pregnant for the 4th time. Do you foresee any paternity issues with Stephon Diggs?
So then Cardi takes a marker, I guess she was going to sign an autograph, and she throws it at the blogger. First of all, have you guys even heard those rumors? I haven't even heard those rumors. I don't know if the blogger was intentionally saying that to trigger Cardi. I feel like they were. And Cardi gave them exactly what they wanted. But we can get into that in just a second.
Cardi.
What's the verdict? Hey, Cardi, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Cardi, insiders are claiming that Offset is publicly bragging about getting you pregnant for the 4th time. Do you foresee any paternity issues with Stephon Diggs?
Stop disrespecting me. Don't disrespect me. Cardi, how you feeling?
Cardi, your court look is amazing. Who are
You're
you
amazing,
wearing?
Cardi. I still love you, even though you just threw some stuff at
I
me.
don't care. You're disrespectful. Don't do that. Do you see women asking those type of questions to me? Do you see women asking those questions to me?
It's a legit
Why do you feel as a man you got to ask me those type of questions? Act like you have some manners. And your mama taught you, respect women.
Good. All right, Cardi.
Go ahead, Rob. Do what's up.
Can somebody hand me my marker right behind you?
And the blogger's right there. That is the blogger that did that asked that question. Here's the thing. Of course, he loved that moment because now Cardi gave him that moment. Let's talk about that. Cardi gave him that moment. We could all agree that the question was absurd. And I think all Cardi needed to do was to say what she just said or completely ignore him. And I think that is the big issue with Cardi is that she constantly, Cardi is a huge, just not even a hip hop artist. She's a huge entertainer. And she always feels the need to respond to social media, to bloggers. Girl, stop giving. You are a millionaire. You've come out of the hood. You've accomplished what so many other people have wanted to accomplish. Coming from reality television, people would die to be in your position. Stop giving them material. Even if it's not a lawsuit, stop giving them material to run with. Because now, look, I got to do my job and talk about this incident that happened outside the court. What we should be talking about is the fact that you won this lawsuit today. But we have to talk about you throwing this Okay, some people said she was throwing it at the ground. Y'all know what she was doing. I would have completely ignored the question. Yes. Was it a disrespectful, disgusting question? Yes, because I haven't heard any of that. But again, bloggers, content creators will come up with things just to get a reaction out of you because they know that they can. They know that they can get a question, they can get a reaction out of you with that kind of question. But okay. Yeah, I think the blogger made it up. Can says that blogger made it up. Yeah, because no one heard that. No one heard that. But anyway, she gave the blogger content now. And yes, does she look more and more pregnant as this trial was playing out? Yeah. But here we are. V. Spencer says, what did he ask? He basically was saying that Offset was saying that the baby is his, and could this cause a paternity issue between Offset and Stefan Diggs, the guy that she is reportedly dating. I don't know, I'd say reportedly, they're dating, right? All right, so then there was that. All right, Cardi, after the verdict, did address the media, and she basically said anyone that plans on suing her, she's not just going to let this end here, she's going to counter sue anyone that starts suing her for frivolous things. So let's get into that.
Let me okay. So first thing first, I want to thank my lawyers. I want to thank the jurors. I want to thank the judge, and I want to thank the respectful press. I really, really appreciate that. And I want to thank everybody at home supporting me. I know you guys having a little key with the moment, but to be honest with you, I have missed my kids' first day of school today. I missed my kids' last day.
So this was her way of cleaning up what happened earlier, because I'm sure by now she probably saw the blogs and everyone was talking about the incident that happened outside the court in between waiting for the jury verdict.
Last week of school yesterday because of this, and I'm not even playing around. I will, even if I'm in my deathbed, I swear to God, I will say it in my deathbed. I did not touch that woman. I did not touch that girl. I didn't lay my hands on that girl. And with that being said, this time around, I'm going to be nice. The next person to try to do a frivolous lawsuit against me, I'm going to countersue, and I'm going to make you pay, because this is not okay. I think people have like this misinterpretations of celebrities, like it's like, oh, well, we could ask for this and they're going to settle. You don't work at home, and you don't work all day, and you don't work for your money to give out your money. Mm-hmm. So don't ever think that I'm just going to give you my money that I work hard for. I don't lay in bed all day. I work all day, and I work hard for my money, for my kids, and for people I take care of. So don't you ever think that you're going to sue me and I'm just going to settle and just give me my money. It's not going to happen. I do also want fans at home, though, not to find their social media, her family's social media, her social media, and bother her. I hope that...
This part of what she says, I was like, I'm so glad she said this, because, you know, the Barty gang go hard for Cardi B. And I wish more celebrities would say stuff like this, because I do think sometimes they want their fan base to go after people that they don't like. I like the fact that she says this in her statement. And mind you, this is not even like a read statement. She's saying this off the top of her dome.
I do also want fans at home, though, not to find their social media, her family's social media, her social media, and bother her. I hope that this is something that I leave behind, that she leave behind. Don't go bother her. Don't be talking about her. Don't be talking about how she look. Don't call her no nasty names. Let's just put this behind.
So leave that security heavy alone.
But I'm giving a warning. I am not that celeb that you're going to sue and you think it's going to settle. I'm not going to settle, especially when I'm super completely innocent. I know I got a little reputation, but I swear to God I'm innocent. I swear to God, like this, like I'm really innocent for real. And I just want to...
Do you guys think that she's innocent in regards to this incident? Because I will say this, and I wasn't a juror, so I could say this. When they first talked about this, I was like, well, based off her history and even what they described, I was like, I could see it. I could definitely see it. But then when you watch the case and you're like, the evidence is not hitting. It's not hitting.
Thank you, everybody. It's been really tough. It's been really long nights for me. I'm in the middle of
This is where we're body language experts. We are body language experts. And for those that are listening to the podcast version of this, when she says this and she's moving the bangs out of her face, I was like, I think she wanted to say, I got a lot going on. I'm pregnant. Allegedly. We don't know. She hasn't confirmed yet. But that's what I was getting. She's got a lot going on. She also has an album release. But I think she really wanted to say, I'm about to announce that I'm pregnant. But
innocent for real. And I just want to say thank you, everybody. It's been really tough. It's been really long nights for me. I'm in the middle of album rollout, so it's been late nights.
Am I the drama?
And early 5:30 in the morning. I gotta get up 5:30 so I can look like this for y'all. Muchas gracias.
And I will say, she really was giving looks. Well, look, can we just say Cardi B is definitely a fashionista? She definitely gives the looks, and she was definitely giving the looks during this trial. Like, she was the hair, the clothes, everything.
Muchas gracias para toda mi gente latina que me están soportando y vinieron toda la mañana. Ustedes se ven bien, maquillada, pelo, cuerpo bonito y vinieron para acá para
5 días.
Show me support. 5 días. Y los hombres también. Una peluca diferente. Una peluca diferente. I'm telling you guys, when I say that my forehead is raw from changing all these wigs, raw. And yeah, thank you for the witnesses and thank you for everybody that just took their time to come out here.
Okay, all right. So Cardi says, first of all, stop playing with her. If you file a frivolous lawsuit against her, she is going to countersue you. Okay? She said that. But she also said to her fans that are celebrating this win today, for those that are just joining us, Cardi B, her lawsuit from the incident that happened in 2018 between her and the security guard while she was pregnant with her first child, Culture, has now been, she's now been found not liable. So now she doesn't have to pay for anything in regards to this woman. This woman now has to pay for her own attorney. So then there's that. But she did warn her fans not to bother this woman. We already know the Barty gang will probably still do it despite what Cardi says. But I also implore you guys, I don't think any of us would, but yeah. That Olivia Pope white outfit that she had on, was it last week? I can't even remember. But yeah, last week. She was giving looks. She was definitely giving looks. All right. That's it for me, y'all. I am going to drop the call-in link for those that want to weigh in. All right. I'm going to drop the call link for those that want to weigh in. I'm not going to wait for everyone to, I'm just going to drop it for everyone. All right. So feel free. Y'all can fight over on who's going to be first. And please respect the timer. Please keep in mind the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged, and they agree to abide by the timer and not to make any sort of profanity or derogatory statements about anything or anyone. Let me say thank you, Jamie. Thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Jamie says, Cardi should settle the mic throw and go to Portia's anger management classes. Or hire a social media manager. I'm sure she has one. And delete social media off your phone. And I know you probably love social media and connecting with your fans. That's what first launched her career. But girl, yeah, it's not. Here come Danielle. Danielle says, team baby number 4. Steady says that she be stunting on us with the fits. She's a fashion girl. She's definitely a fashion girl. I'm looking forward to her new album. Imaginary Player is the new single that she dropped, the sample that she did of Jay-Z. I have to say that grew on me. It wasn't my favorite, but at first, but now I like it. I know. Coco says that Matthew knows media training needs to happen. It really does. He really should market that as a business, because a lot of these celebrities need it right about now. A lot of them. Guys, can we get to 300 likes? If you're just joining us, we're talking about Cardi B's trial being over and the verdict came in. She's been found not liable in this multi-million-dollar lawsuit that was brought against her. But we also reminded you that she is still facing a lawsuit over the mic throw from 2023. Then there's that. All right. Let me bring up Coco. Coco Esquire, what did you want to share in regards to this case?
Hey, Kemp. It's been a long time.
I know. How are you?
I'm doing good. I wanted to say a few things. You know, and this kind of goes into one of the comments we just received. I really appreciate the authenticity that Cardi B brings and that she brought to court.
Yep.
You know, so often we feel like we have to code switch, and Cardi B is always who she is.
Mm-hmm.
She's rough around the edges, but that is a very smart woman. And I respect her so much for how she's handled the legal system and folks just really trying to intimidate her. And I just wanted to just shout out that I really feel bad for her right now, though, the way that all of these folks are coming for her, with the exception of the mic throw incident. I suspect that she didn't settle the mic throw incident because it may have looked disfavorably in this particular case. And so you really have to be strategic about what you do, because it could, as we saw with the Diddy case, it will become an issue that they talk about. Well, didn't you settle this? And how much did you settle it for? And so to admit liability to that case when you have something so similar could be disfavored by her counsel, which she pays good money for. So I defer to their judgment and just her good wisdom that she has when she goes through these times. So anyway, I just want to say that.
Do you think she will now settle that case? Or do you suggest, you know, with your good law degree, do you suggest she settle the case now?
Yeah, with my good law degree and my admission to 3 bars.
Yes, come on. What states? What states? What states? Tell us.
I am admitted to practice in California, Florida.
One, if not the hardest bar exam to go through.
It is pretty challenging, and I took it way almost 15 years after I graduated from law school. So yeah. So and also the District of Columbia. But yeah, I think that definitely optically you have a lot of evidence that is not favorable to her.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cardi B is not a punk, as she articulated. So you kind of may wait to see what the witnesses are going to say. Are they credible? Are they going to be available? But when you have something so damning coming from the stage, you being a performer, throwing your mic into the crowd, did not display the best judgment. I can't see why she wouldn't settle it, aside from not wanting to have that kind of public admission in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I tend to think it likely will be settled and will likely go away quietly.
And especially because it's not a lot of money that the woman is looking for. Based on what you know, more than likely before she filed this lawsuit, she had reached out to Cardi B.
Sometimes they do, and then sometimes they don't. I mean, I would be surprised if her lawyers didn't. And I don't know who her lawyers are, but typically the practice is to send a demand letter just to kind of feel out the defendant as to how they would be, whether or not they're open to settling. And in the case of corporations, they have insurance, so that, you know, that's something that can easily go away just by calling okay, I got this letter, here, insurance, take care of it. I don't know how Cardi's business affairs are set up, whether they come after her personally or some type of corporate interest. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
But I would imagine they reached out to her, and I would imagine they didn't have time to deal with it, because you don't want an admission of guilt to something so violent when you're facing a similar type of civil case.
Did you watch this trial as it played out? It was kind of funny watching this trial.
Yeah, child. First of all, this lawyer, somebody on the internet called him a Timu lawyer, and I was like, the internet will not be defeated. Cardi's looks. Cardi's facial expressions. Cardi knows she will serve up a meme when she said, we're having a debate. I'm like, she's so cute and charming. It's so difficult to not like her. Yeah. Because she doesn't take herself too seriously. She doesn't come off as a jerk. She has a kind of innocence and playfulness that I really appreciate. I thought the lawyer was disrespectful to her, though. You know, what's your hair? You know, I think what he was trying to do, I suspect, was rile her up and piss her off. You know, I'm going to see if I can see, you know, I guess she's from the South Bronx or whatever. I'm going to see if I can get you agitated, you know. But he was a joke. He was so whack. He was a really bad lawyer.
And if he was a better lawyer, he probably would have been able to rile her up with the right questions.
Yeah, Yeah, he shouldn't have said that. He probably should have asked her, was she pregnant or something? Because we clearly see that
that was a trigger for her.
Effective. Right.
Can you imagine?
Way.
Because even if the judge says, you can't ask that question, that it would have already been put out there because she would have reacted. And then the jury would have been like, oh, there's a whole other side to her.
Mm-hmm, exactly. I think that's what he was trying to do. Talk about her hair. Talk about all these things that were irrelevant to kind of get her really going, so they didn't like her so much, because he recognizes Cardi B is pretty popular. It's in the balance is in her favor. She's a celebrity. That's a challenge, as we saw even with the Diddy trial. Yep. But one thing I wanted to point out, I wonder how Miss Receptionist is doing, because did she get a workers' compensation claim field?
For the cut that she got, or was her forehead?
Yeah, she didn't even know. She was so sweet. Like, I'm like concerned about her. She's the one that should have been compensated by the Allied Security Company because of the actions of their employee. I wonder if she was compensated. That's something that I'm going to actually kind of look around and see if I can find out.
Well, let me know if you find out anything. Because I wondered the same thing when I was just reviewing what happened during this trial. I was like, I wonder, did they take care of her? Because she intervened in a situation with the building staff and their high-profile client. I don't know. Hopefully.
Poor thing. She does not get paid enough to have to deal with all that.
And then to testify how many years later. Does she still work for the doctor?
No, apparently she doesn't even work with him anymore. The doctor made that, he said that in his testimony, that she no longer works with him and that the lawyers had called him to try to get in touch with her. I mean, his testimony was good. Yeah. The receptionist testimony was good. And I watched most of it. Someone was playing clips of it on YouTube.
Okay.
So I watched a lot of it because it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was on Court TV.
Oh, I didn't watch it on Court TV.
Yeah, it was also on Court TV. So if you wanted to watch it from beginning to end, that was the difference between the Diddy trial and this civil case. But, well, we appreciate you, Coco, for breaking down the legal eagle of it all.
No problem. Y'all have a good night, okay?
You too.
Take care, Kim.
Bye. I love it when we get a lawyer to call in. That really, we didn't plot and plan that. So shout out to Coco Esquire for calling in. Longtime member of our community. We appreciate her. I'm going to bring up some more calls. We have Elijah backstage. Elijah, what did you want to share about this Cardi B verdict?
So I just wanted to share. Well, first of all, hey, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to share a couple of things. Well, actually, first, I don't know if you've seen, but Kelly's husband is actually suing her too. So I was like, whoa, that was insane. He just said that he's from a lawsuit against her. So I'm like, here we go. And
Kelly Farrell from Real Housewives of Atlanta, for those that didn't know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, my bad, yeah. I don't know what he's going to get out of her, because if she can't pay that credit card. But anyway, so wanted to say that, first of all, obviously, I don't ever condone violence and whatever, what have you. And I don't think that that's the answer. I just feel like at the same time, though, to me, I think that Cardi B is just like, even though she's a celebrity, to me, there's a sense of realness to her, and sometimes to her detriment. Mm-hmm. Like, especially from where she's from, like, if you know what I'm saying? If you knock, she's going to buck. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going to play those games. And so to me, I think that, obviously she wasn't in the right for her actions, but like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I understand her. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then but seeing what happened outside though with the pen and all that stuff, I was like, oh my God. I was like, you know what I mean? I get it. I understand. Like I said, I think she's being real. You know what I'm saying? That really pissed her off. Yeah. But it's not helpful for her. It's not a good look. But what really took me out is the girl is on the one that's doing the suit or whatever. She's over here talking about, oh, I feel satisfied with my lawyer. I'm very confident. I'm like, satisfied with what? Emily Shane Meredith could have done a better job than that lawyer was doing. I was just like, what is going on? It seemed very personal. His behavior towards her, I'm like, I just didn't know what he was doing. So I'm just like, I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding that. And so that's what I wanted to say about that. So
okay. Thanks, Elijah, for calling in.
Problem.
Bye. All right, we're going to bring up Angel next. Angel, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
So I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So based on Cardi's behavior and instances, I definitely think she did it. Not excusing it, but I know she just didn't want her pregnancy exposed on not her own terms. Mm-hmm. So she definitely did it. But she got lucky because that's when fame works in your favor. So she's not lying. And then as a person who's hidden my pregnancy before from an employer, just for a couple months because of the environment I worked in, she's definitely pregnant right now. The bottle is giving it away. The clothes are giving it away. And that's it.
Thank you, Angel, for calling. Where are you shopping?
Safeway.
Safeway?
I'm in Safeway. I am getting dinner for the kiddos.
Okay, well, enjoy.
Thanks. Have a good night.
You too. Bye. I'm all in her business. Like, where's she shopping? Better not be Tarjay. No, I'm playing. Thank you to everyone that called in to share their thoughts and opinions on this Cardi B verdict. Don't forget, guys, you can also hear our coverage of this on the Kempire podcast and everything else in regards to Karen Huger being set free. Set me free. She's now been set free and filming for The Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10. I'm sure it will be like pickup scenes or whatever it may be. Thank you to everyone that sent in super chats. Those of you that have liked the video, we're almost at 300 likes. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live show, the very final live show, will be happening here in New York City on September 12th. That's next Friday at the Green Room 42. There is a live stream option available, so don't forget, even if you're in another part of the world or another part of the country, you can watch as well and have the video for a week. All right? Get your tickets today. More ticket information is available in the description. I will see, for those of you that are coming to the show, I will see you guys next week. Stay tuned for that. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening. I'm going to go take a shower and go to bed. It's been a long day. Everyone have a great day. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.